Hey guys, how's it going out there? Well, it's 2020. Happy New Year, you guys. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, this has been a video kind of topic that I've been really wanting to do since like the middle of last year. But the thing is that last year Nintendo released so many games that I would love to see released onto the Nintendo Switch that I couldn't even do it. So then I had to wait and actually come up with more games that I would love to see being released onto the Nintendo Switch, because the games I wanted to see was Dragon's Lair, that was released on the Nintendo Switch. Contra, that was released on the Nintendo Switch as well. So then I took a pause and I waited, and I was bouncing around inside my head some couple of ideas that I would love to see, games that would be really good ones that could be really released or re-released also onto the Nintendo Switch. And this is also a topic that I would really want to share and kind of tell you guys what games I would love to see on the Nintendo Switch. So now I gotta release this video fast because before Nintendo comes up with more ideas, and then I would have to wait for maybe the year 2021 or something. So anyways, you guys, let's jump in, and here is some of the games I would love to see. The first game that I would love to talk about is Rambo. A good Rambo game. Because I know what everyone was going to say when I said Rambo. Is that I don't want to see a re-release, a remastered game of Rambo. Because we did have a game that was released on the NES that I do have. It's alright. It's not the worst Rambo game. But it's not even the greatest Rambo game either. And also, there was a Rambo game that was released on the PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360, and I believe maybe on the PC as well. But that game also really flopped. It sucked. And that sucks because seeing my favorite action movie star having video games that don't do so well, and also we never really had a Rambo game being released after the PS3 and also the Xbox 360 games didn't do so well. Now, there are some good Rambo games, some good, decent ones, but I wouldn't consider these as the best Rambo games. The only best Rambo game that I think I would have to play was the Sega Genesis version, which was Rambo 3, and that was the only game that I played. There are some other ones that were released as well. I don't really remember which ones they are, but I think there was another Rambo 3 game that was released that was maybe like a first person or something like that perspective shooting game, which was kind of like an arcade thing but for the consoles. So the Rambo game that I would love to see is Rambo Arcade. Bring that game to the Nintendo Switch and remaster it. This is a game that a lot of people love and a lot of people are enjoying it, and I do consider that, maybe from what I've seen on YouTube, I do consider that might be one of the best Rambo games that I have seen. It's a first-person shooting game, and that would be a fun, awesome game that could be released onto the Nintendo Switch. Now, what's really cool what Nintendo is doing with the Nintendo Switch is that it's not only just releasing rated E for kids to play and everything, it's also releasing games so then like teenagers can play and adults can play and have fun with the Nintendo Switch as well. So release this as a rated T for teens or M for mature or whatever, and then bring that to the Nintendo Switch. I think that would be fun. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, Ryan, this game for the arcade, you use a gun to shoot at the enemies. So how is this going to work for the Nintendo Switch? Well, I do have a few options, so here we go. So if Nintendo, or the video game company that does own Rambo Arcade, you don't really need to use the gun. Like, you could probably use your Joy-Cons, use the joysticks or whatever and press the buttons and play it just like an actual regular game. But also, too, I do have some solutions. So here we go. So the first one that I said is that you can use it as just like regular controllers. You don't really have to like use like an actual gun to actually point and shoot. You could just play it as like a regular game where it's just like a regular controller, and then you can have fun and play the games as well. So I just think like that would be another good one. But just in case if they decide not to do that and they come up with something else, because with the Nintendo Switch, they are trying to do a lot of creative stuff on here. So I came up with some ways that maybe if Nintendo sees this video, I wish Nintendo could see one of my videos, shameless plug. It would be, these are, I consider being like awesome ways that maybe you can have fun with this Rambo game and still have a lot of fun. So the Joy-Cons can deattach from the Switch and also from the grip. So you have two Joy-Cons, and what you can do is that you can actually hold them like a gun, and you can point and shoot. You can press like the A button or something, and then like you could just be like, oh, boom, boom. Like, I think like that would be fun. It would be creative as well. And also for the Nintendo Wii, what they had for one of the games was that, I think it was for Call of Duty, was that I've seen this before in stores when I was really young. It was that you would put your nunchuck and your Wii controller in there, and you could use it like a gun. So they could also do that as well, where you could put the Joy-Cons in there, so you don't even need to do this, but it is like kind of like a fun thing to do as well, like just doing it like this. And also, the Nintendo Labo is actually doing pretty well. I'm not too sure if it is or not. I don't even own a Nintendo Labo. I kind of do really want to get the cardboard and stuff like that so I could try it out in the Nintendo Labo. But anyways, Nintendo can also release a special Labo thing for the Rambo game where it could be like a cardboard box and like a cardboard gun, and you could just like do that as well. But those are like the kind of like accessories that I think that would work for that game as well. The next game that I would really love to see is Rocky. Maybe not just a Rocky game, but also too, a boxing game would be awesome as well. If I could choose any sports to actually really enjoy watching, it would be boxing. I do love to watch old fighters like Muhammad Ali and also freaking Mike Tyson, dude. He was a freaking beast. And just like Rocky is like an awesome boxing movie, and it's just like boxing is is an awesome sport, and it's just like I would love to see a game for that onto the Nintendo Switch, and that's what I would love to see. Rocky, a good Rocky game maybe. We did have a good Rocky game, and that is for, I do have a Rocky game for the Nintendo GameCube, and I do have to say this one was the best Rocky game I have seen and I have played, and it's truly awesome. Maybe remastering this game and bringing it onto the Nintendo Switch, that would be awesome. And also what got me into like maybe like a Rocky game to bring it onto the Nintendo Switch is that, especially for the PlayStation 4, and I believe they might have done it for the Xbox, but I'm not too sure, but they released Creed. They made a Creed game where you could play as Adonis Creed or like any other characters from the Rocky movies or whatever, and it was a VR special game. So, and that was awesome. Like, I've never played it, but I've seen YouTube videos about it, and it's awesome. So anyways, when I saw that video, I was like, why don't we have a Creed game released on the Switch, or why don't we have a Rocky game released for the Switch? I just think like that would be awesome, to where like we can have maybe a Rocky game, but like I said, not just a Rocky game, but what about like bringing back Punch-Out or something, like bringing back like the Wii version of Punch-Out or something like that. Like, I think that would be awesome, remastering that too as well. We don't really have a lot of boxing games really released on the Switch. The only games that do come close to boxing is that we do have Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo that does have a boxing sport to it. And also, we also do have 1-2 Switch, which does have somewhat of a boxing game to it, but it's only 2-player theme, which kind of sucks because it's just like that you can only just do that. It's like a little fun little mini game or something like that, just not a full-on game. But that's the thing. These two games had the boxing sport to it, and they just felt like mini games to me. Also kind of have like a Wii Fit kind of thing, but it was like a boxing fit or something like that, I don't know. But that was also released on the Nintendo Switch, and it was just kind of like a workout game or something. But it was just like, but we never really had like a true boxing game that would be a really awesome game that would be really fun to play. Maybe do one to where it's kind of like Mii characters where you can customize your Miis or something. Maybe you can do that where we can have Mii's or something, but also too maybe have like where we can actually customize our own characters or something, so then we can play them or whatever. Now we're going to start getting into the remastered games. So now the games that I would love to see being remastered and putting onto the Nintendo Switch, that I would consider these games being a lot of fun. Now, for example, Nintendo has been releasing a lot of games just to being remastered onto the Nintendo Switch. For an example, we have the classic games such as The Lion King and Aladdin, Ghostbusters Remastered, the Lego Harry Potter Collection Remastered, Crash Bandicoot, the trilogy, the Spiral trilogy, and Captain Toad. Now, these were the games that were released like years ago. They were brought back with updated graphics, and now we can have fun with our childhood games and play them with updated graphics and playing them on the Nintendo Switch. I mean, like, Crash Bandicoot, Ghostbusters, wherever you go, truly awesome. Now, one of the games that I play in my early teenage years, that I was probably maybe 13 or 12 when this game was released, and I had so much fun when it was on the Wii, and I had to unhook my Wii because for some weird reason, my Wii wasn't working. The room was upstairs in my room, and since that it gets really hot sometimes where I'm at, or where I live, I think maybe like the Wii probably must have like overheated or something, or maybe it was from the weather or something, I'm not too sure. But it's very disappointing that it does not really work or whatever, but I do really would love to hook it back up so then like I can try it out again or something. But one of the games that I had fun playing, and I do consider this being one of my all-time favorite games on the Wii, and I would love to see this game remastered and being released on the Nintendo Switch, and that has to be Epic Mickey. Nintendo, partner up with Disney. You guys just released Aladdin and The Lion King from the old classic video game consoles, and that is awesome as well, being remastered and having fun playing those. I've already talked about this game as Ryan Nintendo Freak on the Ryan Nintendo Freak series 3 years ago. Disney, what are you doing? Sit down in front of your computer, look up Channel Gall 98, and click on this video, and then fast forward to where I'm talking about Epic Mickey. This would be a fun game remastered. I mean, like I said, and this is probably maybe one of the games, or one of the games that was based off of Mickey Mouse, but this is truly the best Mickey Mouse game that I think I have ever played in my life. It is that good, and it's awesome. It's dark, it's suspenseful, and it's not too dark to where this is creepy for kids and it's too scary for kids, but it's enough to where kids will enjoy playing it, and not just for kids, but for teenagers and adults as well will have fun playing this game, and also like feeling like it's also like a throwback as well. You see Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, some of these like couple of like old cartoon characters that are brought back into this video game. Also, just like that little twist at the end with the final boss that wasn't really the final boss and it became the final boss at the very end. It's very awesome and it's very cool. Now, kind of like the same thing as the Rambo game. Here's the problem. Everyone's gonna say, but Ryan, with the Mickey Mouse game, not only that you use your Wiimote, you had to connect it with your nunchuck, and you had to swing it around like this, and you had to point it at the TV screen, and you had to move the characters like this. Like, it was just kind of like, now how would this work? Well, that's why we have detachable Joy-Cons, and this is why this would become the most handy thing of all time. So yes, playing Epic Mickey like this with just a regular controller and making it just like a regular controller, it's not going to work. So just deattach your Joy-Cons. It could even say on the back of the case that this is not gonna be used, only just these. So your Joy-Cons, they're connected. They're like one. It's kind of like the Wiimote and the nunchuck, where they're kind of like that, to where you don't really even need to like connect it to like with any kind of wire or something like that. You can play Epic Mickey. You could steer Mickey with this Joy-Con, and plus you could shoot paint and thinner with this top R button and with this back R button, and you can actually shoot the paint and thinner while you're running like this. Like, that would be the fun thing also. The next game, the last game, the final game that I'm going to share with you guys that I think that should be released on the Nintendo Switch as remastered and played on the Nintendo Switch. And that is Maximum Carnage for the Super Nintendo / Sega Genesis. That game is so fun, so awesome. Even not just Maximum Carnage. Maybe a fun Spider-Man game. There was a Spider-Man game that was released on the PlayStation 4. I would love to see that released on the Nintendo Switch, but it's only a PlayStation 4 exclusive. Sadly, yes, it's only released for the PlayStation 4. And that is supposed to be well known as the best Spider-Man game that was ever made and that is ever released onto a video game console. And it's just like, it just kind of sucks that it's not going to be released on the Nintendo Switch. So any Spider-Man game would do. A fun Spider-Man game being released onto the Nintendo Switch. It'd be fun to shoot a web and swing all over, and plus taking an awesome Spider-Man game wherever you go, on the go, that would be awesome. But why Maximum Carnage? Well, it's a very fun Spider-Man beat-em-up game. You play as Spider-Man or Venom, you can play as either the two, and also, one of the best and awesome and darkest villains ever is Carnage. Like, you never really see this kind of game before and anything else. And plus, you never really see this kind of game before and anything else. And plus, this game is really expensive. Like, it's going for like high prices. On the Super Nintendo, it's going for like about $39, $30 some odd dollars. Like, that's not really a lot, but it is if it is just for the cartridge. But if you got it with the box, it's probably going to be like $100. I'm not too sure. But this game being released on the Nintendo Switch, maybe for like $29, would be a steal. Like, yes, like I know like people are going to say like, well, Ryan, you could plug your Super Nintendo Classic into the computer and just hack it and put Maximum Carnage onto there and you can have the game for free. Yes, I did that already and I do have it on there, but it would be fun to actually take it wherever you go, on the go, and plus having it remastered as well. That would be awesome. What I mean by bringing it back and remastering it, I don't mean like bringing it back as a 16-bit game, but in HD, because we can play it in HD as 16-bit on the third-party Super Nintendo clone console. You can play it as 16-bit in HD, and then also, like I said earlier, with the Super Nintendo Classic, you could just plug it into your laptop and just download Maximum Carnage, and you could play it remastered in HD, 16-bit on there as well. I want Nintendo to do the exact same thing like they did with DuckTales remastered on the Wii U, to where they made it look like a cartoon, like you were watching a cartoon with voiceovers and just like with beautiful animation. Do the exact same thing like that, but do it with Maximum Carnage. I think that would be awesome. Like I said, it is a fun Spider-Man game. And plus it's a fun beat-em-up game. It's kind of dark, but not too dark, and plus it's a lot of fun as well. So there you go, you guys. Those are the games that I would love to see being remastered or made into games onto the Nintendo Switch. So what do you guys think about my list of games that I would love to see on the Nintendo Switch? If you guys agree with some of the games that I've said, comment down below what you guys think about my list, or also to comment down below what you guys think you guys would love to see on the Nintendo Switch, what kind of games you guys would want to see remastered or made into games and being put on the Nintendo Switch. This would be a fun thing to talk about and stuff like that. So anyways, you guys, I'll see you guys later. Have a good start of the year and all that. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.